Welcome to the Bandano Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. Natasha Cloud getting dragged up and down the internet along with Unrivaled for her latest comments regarding, if there's no lockout, the people in Unrivaled are going to be good. I don't really care about the rest of y'all, but the players in Unrivaled are going to be. We're going to get into that. Rebecca Lobo offering a stark warning to the players, saying, look, maybe some of the dialogue you guys are using, maybe calling $1 million salary a slap in the face.
That icy declaration, WNBA star Natasha Cloud dropped a bomb on the league. Speaking on behalf of Unrivaled, the rival off-season league, Cloud implied that a lockout wouldn't hurt them at all. Timing was explosive. Her comments landed right in the middle of tense CBA negotiations, instantly fracturing the fragile image of league-wide solidarity. Suddenly, the message was unmistakable. A privileged handful of players felt protected, while the overwhelming majority were left exposed and vulnerable. Any illusion of unity evaporated. Overnight, the future of the WNBA and the financial survival of its athletes appeared more unstable than ever. Fans and analysts erupted in disbelief, sensing a crisis no one thought was possible.
Maybe some of the dialogue you guys are using, maybe calling $1 million salary a slap in the face, isn't the best way to get fans on your side, and that's exactly where we're going to start off. Please like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. Rebecca Lobo, worried WNBA players are losing fan support in CBA talks. Quote, when a deal is presented that's over $1 million max salary and revenue share, it's called a slap in the face. Just use different words. This is an article posted by Awful.
The backlash was immediate and fierce. WNBA legend Rebecca Lobo was among the first to fire back, and she didn't mince her words. She warned that portraying $1 million max salary and revenue share as a slap in the face was a disastrous messaging strategy. Lobo argued that this narrative wasn't just tone-deaf. It was actively driving fans away at one of the most pivotal moments in the league's evolution. Her comments landed like a reality check, exposing a widening gap between player demands and public perception. Worse, it called into question the very fan loyalty the WNBA has worked for decades to cultivate, hinting at long-term consequences far beyond the
with how they're articulating things. Because if you're working whatever job, a max salary of $1.2 million, average salary of $500,000, if you don't think it's fair, that's fine, but don't call it a slap in the face. Support for the players are definitely waning. Every time they take a dump on $1 million max salaries, $250,000 minimum salaries, $500,000 average salary, every time they trash that, I would say it's a huge slap in the face to the people that are observing these negotiations from a distance. Wait, you guys are saying a 4x increase?
Lobo's concerns only grew as she watched public sentiment begin to slip. Fan engagement was undeniably fading, and this wasn't just an anecdotal observation, it was a glaring warning sign. The messaging strategy was backfiring in real time. The constant drumbeat of dissatisfaction, especially surrounding already boosted salaries, struck many as tone-deaf and even entitled. As sympathy evaporated, the average fan found it harder to relate to the athletes' grievances. This erosion of support underscored a looming crisis, one that threatened the WNBA's long-term stability, its cultural momentum, and its leverage in negotiating future high-stakes deals.
NBA comes back. They're not even supporting any player not named Caitlin Clark. Any player not named Caitlin Clark. Not team, any player not named Caitlin Clark. Yeah, there are a good amount of people that are saying, hey, it's Indiana fever or nothing as well. I tried to give you guys the benefit of the doubt, but based on how these negotiations have been going, based on how much you have been gaslighting and lying to us, I'm not going to support you guys anymore. I'm going to prove to all of the players in the league, nobody cares about you, and we only care about Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to buy your merch.
The everyday fan, already struggling with real financial pressures, simply cannot relate to the idea of a 6- or 7-figure salary being dismissed as a slap in the face. Lobo captured this disconnect perfectly, noting that such rhetoric makes sympathy nearly impossible. When players publicly belittle compensation that most people would consider life-changing, it builds an immediate wall. Resentment replaces understanding. This communication blunder has become painfully expensive, turning would-be supporters into critics and endangering the very fan base the league needs to survive, grow, and command bigger deals.
Go against the players to teach them a lesson at this point. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. And with what Rebecca Lobo said, the average fan at home, yes, the average fan at home, yeah, they would say that that's a little bit ridiculous. But I would also say the old guard WNBA fan, they're behind these players nearly 100%. The old guard WNBA fan is why these players feel so emboldened to act how they do, to demand what they are demanding. It's the old WNBA fans. The new fans, the casuals, they see right through this. They see.
The backlash only intensified as the public reacted with disbelief to players brushing off a fourfold salary increase as inadequate. To many, these comments didn't just come across as ungrateful, they bordered on gaslighting, making everyday people question their own sense of fairness and value. Suggesting that such massive financial gains were anything short of meaningful progress felt manipulative and downright insulting to those observing from the outside. This rhetoric has now become a central flashpoint, stoking public anger and further distancing players from the very supporters they need, widening a dangerous and increasingly volatile rift.
But like, for example, and we all pray it doesn't happen because everybody wants the W to come back. So my question is, if for some reason that there was a lockout and, the season didn't come back.
I feel like I can't say that there is or there isn't because I'm not 100% sure, but I know Unrivaled is prepared in so many different instances. And the biggest one being that we own the space that we play in.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to stay here year round as the players of Unrivaled with equity in this league and with space, financial money, all that stuff, we could stay here, train, play, put on another season if need be. So that's a beautiful thing, and that's why I'm so appreciative to be able.
The Caitlin Clark effect has only intensified this growing fan disconnect. A sizable portion of the audience now openly proclaims they will support Clark and the Indiana Fever exclusively, while boycotting other players and teams outright. This shift is a brutal blow to the WNBA, proving that individual star power, not collective bargaining narratives, is currently driving interest and engagement. Are even declaring they intend to teach them a lesson, refusing to buy merch, watch broadcasts, or attend games unless Clark is involved. It's a chilling indication of how profoundly the fan base feels ignored, betrayed, and increasingly unwilling to back the broader league.
Premier league that has the best players in the world. Unrivaled doesn't have the best players in the world. They can lie to themselves and think that they do. They don't. Project B doesn't have the best players in the world. They can lie to themselves and think that they do. They don't. Not only do they not have the best players in the world, they don't have the most interesting players in the world. They don't have the biggest draws in the world. They don't have the most popular players in the world. The most popular player, Caitlin Clark, isn't associated with either of those leagues. And both of those leagues' success depend on a Caitlin Clark playing in them. Make no mistake about it. Now, Natasha Cloud is talking all this hot you-know-what.
The perception of gaslighting from players is creating a deep and widening fracture between them and their audience. Fans who feel misled about the league's financial realities are responding with intense negativity. To them, demands for substantially higher pay, despite historic viewership spikes and already rising salaries, feel like an attempt to manufacture a false narrative. This collapse of trust may be the most devastating element of the crisis, because it directly erodes the emotional bond and loyalty that sports leagues rely on for survival. In the process, it's poisoning the environment around negotiations and pushing both sides further apart.
B runs from November to April, and Unrivaled's running from January to March. Well, guess what? All those players that were the best players in Unrivaled, they're not going to be there anymore because Project B's got bigger pockets than you guys. So you're talking all this mess. Realistically, Project B, they're getting ready to put you guys out of business. Realistically, TNT, you think they're going to be perfectly okay with the trash ratings that Unrivaled has brought in? Unrivaled is prepared for the next year, but if Unrivaled gets dropped by TNT and Warner Brothers, you think they're prepared for that?
A stark divide has emerged between WNBA's longtime loyalists and the newer, casual audience. Veteran supporters, often hailed for their fierce allegiance, are perceived as enabling players' current demands, believing their stars can do no wrong. In contrast, casual fans, many drawn to Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise, are seeing through the rhetoric, recognizing exaggeration and withholding unconditional support. This poses a major obstacle to the league's push to broaden its appeal beyond its traditional base. Natasha Cloud's comments about Unrivaled being ready for a WNBA lockout were more than a statement of confidence. They were a direct challenge to the league's